because no one else is making a machine like this in the market. We can shrink the motor by a factor of 4 whilst creating the same amount of torque.
What if I told you engineers have developed one of the most powerful electric motors ever built, and it's small enough to fit inside a backpack? Sounds impossible. But engineers at YASA have built exactly that. Their newest electric motor produces nearly 1,000 horsepower, and it weighs just 12.7 kilograms. That's lighter than most airplane carry-on luggage. But here's the part that really surprised me. This motor isn't just powerful, it could actually replace parts of the car itself, including the braking system. And if this idea works, it could completely change how electric vehicles are designed. So how did engineers build something this small, yet this powerful? To understand that, we need to look at a completely different type of electric motor. Most electric vehicles today use radial flux motors. These motors are cylindrical, and the magnetic field moves outward from the center. But YASA uses a different architecture called an axial flux motor. These motors are often nicknamed pancake motors because they are wide and flat instead of long cylinders. Instead of magnetic fields moving outward from the center, they move along the axis of the motor. This might sound like a small change, but it creates a huge advantage. Because the magnets sit farther from the center, they act like a longer lever arm, producing more torque from the same motor. But YASA took this concept even further. Their design removes a heavy internal component normally found in electric motors called the stator yoke. Instead, the stator sits between 2 rotors. This configuration is known as a yokeless axial flux motor. Removing the heavy iron yoke and replacing it with an active second rotor makes the motor lighter and more powerful at the same time. Engineers estimate this change alone removes around 20 kilograms compared to a similar traditional motor. But the real breakthrough comes from the rotor itself. Instead of being made mostly from metal, the rotor structure is built from carbon fiber composite. This reduces 60 to 70% of the rotor's mass, which dramatically increases the motor's power-to-weight ratio. But carbon fiber brings another advantage. In traditional metal rotors, changing magnetic fields create eddy currents. These circulating currents generate heat and waste energy. Carbon fiber eliminates most of these losses because it does not conduct electricity like metal. However, removing metal creates another challenge. Metal usually helps guide magnetic fields through the rotor. Without it, the magnetic circuit breaks. So the engineers needed a completely new solution. The solution is something called a Halbach Array. This is a special arrangement of magnets that concentrates the magnetic field in one direction while canceling it on the other. Instead of relying on heavy metal components to guide the magnetic field, the magnets guide it themselves. Because of this, the rotor no longer needs heavy steel backing, which is exactly what allows engineers to replace those parts with an ultra-light carbon fiber structure. This clever magnetic trick is what makes the entire motor design possible. Of course, spinning a motor this powerful creates enormous forces. At 14,000 revolutions per minute, the magnets experience strong centrifugal forces trying to pull them outward. To prevent the rotor from tearing itself apart, engineers wrap the magnets with a carbon fiber retaining band. This band compresses the magnets inward. As the motor spins faster and outward forces increase, the preload counteracts them. This keeps the rotor stable even at extremely high speeds. Now imagine squeezing 1,000 horsepower into something roughly the size of a dinner plate. The biggest challenge becomes heat. Electric motors generate heat in their copper windings. At these power levels, temperatures can rise extremely fast. To solve this problem, the motor uses direct oil cooling. Oil flows directly through the copper coils inside the stator. This removes heat far more efficiently than traditional cooling systems. Without this cooling method, the motor simply wouldn't survive at these power levels. So why build a motor like this? The answer is actually quite radical. The engineers want to install these motors inside the wheels of high-performance vehicles. Their goal is to match the power density of a carbon ceramic brake disc, roughly 50 kilowatts per kilogram. If they succeed, the motor could actually replace the brake disc itself. Instead of traditional braking, the car would rely primarily on electromagnetic braking and energy regeneration. This creates a powerful efficiency loop. More regenerative braking recovers more energy. That allows the battery to be smaller and a lighter car requires less energy to move. The result could be vehicles that are lighter, more efficient, and more powerful. But there is a hidden challenge with this design. one that engineers have debated for years. When you place a motor inside the wheel, you increase something called unsprung mass. Unsprung mass is the weight of components that move directly with the wheel instead of the suspension. When this mass increases, it can negatively affect ride comfort, handling, and stability. For decades, engineers tried to avoid putting heavy components inside the wheel for this reason. But the engineers behind this motor believe they've found a way around this problem. Because the motor is so light, only 12.7 kilograms, it could actually replace other heavy components like carbon ceramic brake systems. So instead of adding weight to the wheel, it may replace weight that was already there. If that works in practice, it could remove one of the biggest obstacles that has limited in-wheel motors for decades. But this raises a bigger question. Will motors like this replace traditional electric motors entirely? The answer is not anytime soon. Right now, this technology is extremely advanced and likely expensive, so it will probably appear first in high-performance supercars. But that's exactly how many automotive innovations start. Technologies like carbon ceramic brakes and advanced aerodynamics began in supercars before moving into mainstream vehicles. And the same thing could happen here. If companies like YASA can scale production and reduce costs, axial flux motors could eventually appear in everyday EVs like the Tesla Model 3 or the Nissan Leaf. But traditional motors still have one major advantage. They are cheap, reliable, and easy to manufacture. So for now, both technologies will likely coexist. So think about this for a moment. A 12-kilogram motor producing nearly 1,000 horsepower, small enough to carry in a backpack, yet powerful enough to move a supercar. If innovations like this continue to evolve, they could completely redefine how vehicles are designed, from electric hypercars to the future of transportation itself. But here's the real question. Could motors like the one developed by YASA eventually replace the motors used in cars like the Tesla Model S? Or will traditional designs continue to dominate? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoy exploring breakthrough technologies like this, subscribe for more deep dives into the future of engineering and transportation. They spin faster, they last longer, they operate cleaner. And in certain systems, they enable performance that would otherwise be impossible. And that raises an interesting question. If we can suspend a rotor in midair and spin it faster than ever before, what other mechanical limits are simply waiting to be redesigned? And let me know in the comments where you think this technology makes the most sense and where you think traditional engineering will continue to dominate, but that they challenge long-held assumptions about how motors must be built. If you enjoyed this deep dive, consider subscribing